Next, we have inflammation and depression. From an evolutionary perspective, the predominant functions for hunter-gatherers was fight and flight response to remove oneself from threats. So there was a lot of conservation of energy to ensure that there was adequate alarm and avoidance at the same time. Furthermore, in this time, they were exposed to minimally pathogenic organisms. This led to adaptive anti-inflammatory responses through the activation of specific T cells called Treg cells. Also, regulatory B cells and the M2 macrophages. This resulted in an immune response that prevented autoimmunity. In the modern world, however, there has been a decrease in infectious mortality, but at the expense of increase in inflammation and increase in autoimmunity. Why has this happened? Modern practices such as sanitation reduces microbial diversity. This diminishes our exposure to the immunoregulatory organisms. We have a decrease of stimulation of the Treg and Breg cells. This balance, therefore, has been tilted towards an exacerbated inflammatory bias, which when combined with environmental stresses and psychological stresses, results in a cascade of significant inflammation that of course can result in neuroinflammation as well. Once the inflammatory cascade is started, this results in the production of cytokines that impacts on the production of the various neurotransmitters such as serotonin, glutamate, and dopamine. Overall, these cytokines reduce the levels of serotonin, dopamine, and increase glutamate excitotoxicity. This can result in both functional neurotransmission changes, but also result in structural abnormalities. For example, in the context of inflammation, it's not uncommon to find significant white matter hyperintensities on an MRI in patients with severe depression. One can think about inflammatory depression as a separate subtype. Evidence suggests that broader spectrum antidepressants are required to treat this particular subset of depression. Why is this the case? Because inflammation specifically acts on dopamine, reducing it overall. Therefore, symptoms such as cognitive dysfunction, anhedonia, fatigue, brain fog tend to be more prominent.